Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Jamie here. Hope you're all having a great week. So, in this video, I want to talk about 10 ways that you can win people over. So, winning people over basically means, getting them to agree with you, just getting along with them, avoiding, any arguments, disagreements, de-escalating situations, any confrontations that you might have, or if people don't like you. There's things that you can do to win them over, and at least, be civil acquaintances. You don't necessarily have to be best friends, but there's people that you're gonna work with, throughout your career. Different situations you're gonna have to get along with people. They might disagree with you right away, but there's things you can do, to win them over and make them, see you in a positive light, and just make that relationship, easier to navigate, easier to get along with people. So, number one, like I said, would be avoid arguments. Disagreements happen all the time due to differences in thinking, but instead of confrontation, it's best to listen and understand the other person's point of view. So I have disagreements all the time, and it's easy to let your pride and your ego take over, but staying calm and humble can help you gain new insights. You can get to, um, just learn, what people are thinking, why they think a certain way, why they're approaching you with a certain attitude, or opinions. So it's best to just, do whatever you can to avoid letting any disagreements escalate into, verbal arguments, because it doesn't help either side. So, just try and, stay calm when you can, and, do whatever you can to just see, why the other person thinks the way they do. So, number two would be show respect for others' opinions. It's always best to try and respect someone's opinion instead of immediately neglecting it, since respecting others' opinions can help you find common ground. So it could be extremely difficult to agree with some people depending on their opinions, but it's important to try and find common ground and be open to a healthy discussion. Because once you find common ground, then you're able to start working towards, negotiating, you know, what both sides believe in, and coming to an agreement more easily. So, so even if you really don't agree with their opinion, depending on what you're discussing, just hear it out, try and find something that you agree with, and just work from there. Because as long as you can find something, that you agree with, some sort of common ground, then it'll be easier to navigate through, those discussions a lot more easily. So number three, always admit when you're wrong. Being wrong is just a part of being human, and being able to admit when you make a mistake shows that you have a desire to make things right. Sometimes it can be hard for me to admit I'm wrong if I'm heavily invested in my own opinion, but I just try to collect myself and understand that it's okay to admit I'm wrong. Because once you are able to admit you're wrong, then people, they view you in a more positive light, because they see you as someone that's easier to work with, easier to get along with. You're not going to always, be stubborn in your own beliefs. It doesn't matter how far along, how invested you are in your own opinion. If you realize at any point, that you're wrong, and you're wrong, bring it up right away, because if the other person strongly believes that they're right, as soon as you think that you're wrong, you can admit that, and then they know that, okay, I was right, and they'll respect you more for it. So just make an effort to do that whenever you're in a situation where you're having a disagreement, and you see that you're wrong. So number four is be friendly. When you're having a disagreement with someone, it's important to always use positive body language, use a friendly tone, have a relaxed posture, things like that. Because what you say to people can be perceived differently based on how you say it. So I always try to give off a positive vibe and show that I just want to have a calm discussion. Don't come across as confrontational. Don't sit there and cross your arms or roll your eyes or have a negative tone or anything like that. Be friendly. Show that you're willing to work with that person. You want to get along with them. And once you convey that through your body language and your tone, then the discussions will go a lot better. So number 5, get the other person to agree with you. So the goal should always be to get on the same page as the other person, as this sets a positive tone and gets them to be open and less defensive. So I always try to find a common ground with people because once they see I'm willing to work with them, it becomes easier to agree on other things as well. There might be misunderstandings or previous disagreements that sort of sets a negative tone going into a conversation. But once try and get on the same page, find your common ground, and just go into it with a positive tone, you'll see that other people open up a lot more easily. So always, make that your goal, to try and get the other person to agree with you by just finding that common ground, being friendly and approachable, and you'll see that they're willing to work with you a lot more quickly. So number 6, always listen and let the other person do the talking. So letting people speak their mind completely helps make them comfortable and encourages them to share their thoughts and ideas. So I'm a big believer in listening to people as much as possible, since this helps me get the full picture of what they're trying to convey and builds better relationships going forward. I always, like I said, I always try and listen to people and not try and interrupt them, because I don't want to interrupt them and bring up a point I disagree with when it was something that they were getting to in a couple seconds later. So always wait till they're finished. Try and think about every point that they're saying that you want to address, and then by letting them finish, it shows that you're willing to listen to everything that they have to say, and then you can address their points and have that back and forth, and it'll just help build better relationships going forward once they see that you're willing to listen to them. So number 7, let the person feel that the idea is theirs. So people like feeling validated that their ideas are good, so it's important to provide feedback and help them become invested in making their ideas come true. So I like to provide people with a sense of accomplishment by pushing them to go after what they believe in and showing them how good ideas can make them feel great. So this applies more to professionally than personally, but even personally, things like going out to eat or doing an activity or something like that. People want to feel valued, like they have some great ideas. So try and make them feel like the idea is theirs, that they're contributing, in a positive way. So if you can do that, it'll definitely help boost their perception of you, and just make that relationship better moving forward. So number 8, see things from the other person's point of view. So seeing things from someone else's point of view can often be difficult, but it's important to make that effort because it will make that person feel valued and understood. So I know that by understanding someone else's point of view, I can provide a level of empathy that will help us more quickly agree on what is right rather than who is right. So again, it can be difficult to understand someone else's point of view because you might strongly disagree with a lot of what they're saying, but if you can just learn to understand why they think a certain way, why they have a certain opinion, again, work towards finding that common ground. You work towards understanding that, trying to empathize with them. If they feel like you understand where they're coming from, even if you disagree, it'll just be a lot easier, to kind of, lay things out and see, what is right, rather than focusing on, which one of you is right. Always try and focus on figuring out, what is right, and just come to the right conclusion regardless of each of your opinions. So number 9, be sympathetic to the ideas of others. So once you understand someone else's point of view, you'll be able to come to a positive understanding and create a better foundation for the conversation moving forward. So it helps me when I try to relate to someone as much as possible by telling them I know how they feel, or that I would do the same thing if I was in their position. It does have to be genuine. You can't just say you know how they feel if you really don't. But again, try and think from their point of view, and try and relate to what they're saying in any way possible. Because if you can do that, then you could start to move towards understanding how they feel. And if you can do that, you can kind of see how you might do the same thing in their position. So being sympathetic really helps win them over too, because it shows that you have a good understanding of the way that they're feeling. And again, it builds a better foundation, moving forward, and it just helps you get on the same page. So number 10, dramatize your ideas. So getting your ideas noticed can be easier if you do it in a unique way, like presenting a funny story or adding some drama to stand out from what others have done. Be unique. So I often struggle with presenting my ideas in a unique way, but the best way to be unique is to just do what feels comfortable and whatever comes across as genuine as possible. Um, so I just try to see what works, see what is most successful, what's worked in the past for others, but just do it in a unique way. It's hard to explain exactly what that is, but everyone's unique, so just kind of see what is unique to yourself. What is genuine, what are people going to look at you and listen to you saying and relate to the most. If you have a good sense of humor, you could tell a funny story. You could just put your own spin on things. Whatever. You need to get in touch with your own personality, see what you do to make yourself unique, that people notice about you, and just kind of make that a part of how you convey your ideas. So if you do that, um, you'll definitely take a big step towards winning people over. All right, so that's it for this video. I hope these tips helped you if you are looking to win people over. So again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Like and subscribe if you like this video. I'm always putting out new videos, always taking feedback for new videos to put out, new topics. So all right, again, that is it for this video, and I will speak to you in the next one. All right, bye for now.